Now, I'm minimizing your chat. Okay. Fine. We are down here. 60 are here. And let us start with rule number 10. Now, we did rule number 9 last time. Now, what is the similarity I told you? Rule number 9 is about narrow channels. That means that is a physical limitation. It is not man-made. It is just, we know that we have got restriction because it just happens to be narrow. It has got limited depth. We don't have our freedom. We have to go carefully. It is like a small staircase. When you're climbing up a small staircase in the house or something, then you realize what happens is we are restricted with the width. So we need to be careful. And then we also work out the systems. If somebody is coming down, you say, okay, you come down first, then I will climb up. Similarly, we saw the regulation requirements of rule number 9. Now, we come to rule number 10. Rule number 9 was our way of cutting distances short by using narrow channels to cut the distance. Now we come to rule number 10. Now, rule number 10 came in after I joined Sea Life. That is because there were no traffic separation schemes. You know, everybody had a freedom to go any way they like. And the traffic was ever increasing. So, they sat together, came out with the idea that let us make some sort of a disciplined traffic lanes so that the percentage chance of accidents will come down. So, what they did, okay, everybody said let us make it like virtual roads or imaginary roads, and we will place them on top of the charts. And then ships will know, knowing their position, what to do, how to go, okay, which will be left-hand side, right-hand side, etc. Now, we follow in traffic separation scheme, regardless of where you are in the world, traffic separation schemes normally will have the left-hand drive rule. That means you drive on right-hand side of the road. In India, we drive on left-hand side, but you will be driving on right-hand side. That is normal. Exception may be somewhere in the world, but that is something else. That is not the requirement, saying that how do you go. They will show you by arrow how are you supposed to move. The arrow will indicate the direction of flow. Now, first, an important part. This rule applies to the traffic separation schemes adopted by the organization. Now, this is the first part. We have got traffic separation schemes created by local governments also all over. But this particular rule of ROR, like when we say the ROR applies to vessel on high seas and navigable waters, etc., etc., same way, this rule will apply only when the traffic separation scheme is adopted by the organization. Otherwise, this will not apply. It can happen that in some odd locations you will find that like Great Lakes has got their own set of rules. They will have traffic separation scheme somewhere, but they have got their own set of rules, then this rule doesn't apply. That is the first part of application. And most important, it does not relieve any vessel of her obligation under any other rule. Means, no matter you are using it, but it is for your convenience. You cannot say that you have relieved me because I am following separation scheme, so I am innocent. No. What we are looking here is, we have got our obligation under other rules. All other rules must be followed. The traffic separation scheme make our life easier by bringing some discipline in traffic, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be following our normal rules. Now, A vessel using, now here a vessel, that means anybody, okay, get it right, anybody, it's not only power driven, any vessel using power, this traffic separation scheme shall is stronger than will, okay, proceed in appropriate lane in the general direction of traffic flow for that lane. Means it will have its directions marked, which is the traffic flow. You go in that lane and follow it. That is like a imaginary road created for you. Just go on that road and go along with the traffic. Simple. It is not like what we see in Pune. Road says no entry, yet the guy comes in front, going in opposite direction. I am in my lane and I find somebody else going other way around. Now that is not to be done. Now, so far as practical, see the wording, so far as practical, means practically. What is it telling you? Keep clear of traffic separation line or separation zone. Now, what is a line or zone? When we have got a road divider to show this is a one way, not one way, this is how the traffic flows. You have seen, all of you have seen the road dividers. So that is equivalent of traffic separation lane or the stripe, the strips which are marked on the road now. That says that, okay, this is a white strip in the middle and the left hand side flows in this way and right hand comes this way. So that is the system we follow on the road. Here equivalent is traffic separation line, or the divider also becomes same. And what is separation zone? Separation zone is something like, you see on expressways. The lanes are separated, means, say, for example, if it's north-south traffic, north-going lane is separated from south-going lane by a sufficient width. That is separation zone. Okay. Now, here we put a physical barrier so that you can't enter there, or we put some sort of plants and all. But at sea there is nothing like that. But this is how you compare lane and zone. So both you should keep clear of that, because you are supposed to be in the middle of the road, no, for safety. Why go in one corner, this way or that way? Next is these lanes are not continuous. It's like a highway. Okay, we are on highway. Now, highways also have got connections from service roads, from where the vehicle from service road can come and join the highway, so that there is not much of a disturbance caused. Now, same principle is followed here. Normally will join or leave traffic lane at the termination of the lane. That means wherever like service roads like situation is there, that is where the beginning or end of the lane, that is where you join. And when you join also, you don't join at right angles. What do you do is, whichever way you go, you do it in small angle to the general direction of traffic flow as practicable. Means I join it very slowly, casually, so that without causing a disturbance. Just a small angle, the way we drive on the roads. When you join the traffic, for example, your car is parked and you want to get on the road. So what you do? First you check the traffic. Okay, everything is clear. Then you start and you move slowly in the lane. You don't move abruptly in the lane. You move slowly. That is exactly what we are doing here. Then we have got vessel shall, so far as practicable. Again the wording is there, so far as practicable, avoid crossing lanes. Means if it is practicable, don't cross the lane. But if you have to cross the lane, means you have to cross the road. You have to cross that lane. Then the heading should be as practicable at right angle to the general direction of flow. That means you don't go at oblique angles. You just go at 90 degrees. Now the important word here is heading. That means if the lane is going 090 to 270, I am crossing this lane. So what should be my heading? If I am going north, it should be 000. Or if I am going south, it should be 180. Now it is very specific. It ship's heading, not the course made good. Course made good is not to be considered. It is the heading. The reason being, when ship is at that head, never mind how she is actually moving, what course she is making good. When I am watching from some other ship, I can see it much easily that her intention is to cross me. That becomes clearer, because if you take like English Channel, where you have got strong tidal stream, so at times, just because I am going 000 degrees doesn't mean I am going actually that way. I may be going like 340. So the course made good is not the concern. It is what is your ship's heading, ship's head. So again, so far as practicable, avoid. That is the first step, is avoid it. Why do you want to cross? Wait, let the ships go. But if you have to do it, then go at right angles. The heading should be right angles to the general direction of traffic flow. The next part, D. A vessel shall not use an inshore traffic zone when she can use appropriate traffic lane. Now this is what is inshore traffic zone. Inshore traffic zone is like service road on expressway. Normally when you can go on highway, don't go on service road, because service roads are reserved for local traffic. They are not supposed to interfere with Bada Sar, right? So this is what is the meaning. So use the appropriate traffic lane within the adjacent traffic separation scheme. That means he will use that. But smaller ships like this, when the vessels of less than 20 meters, sailing vessels and vessels engaged in fishing may use inshore traffic zone. That means these smaller ones, sailing vessels engaged in fishing may use, means they have got option of using this so-called inshore traffic zone. That is our land equivalent of service road. They may use it. But it is not that they cannot be in a main one. They can be in very much main one. And if they feel that they are more comfortable in inshore traffic zone, they will go there. Now, notwithstanding D1, that is what we just now saw here. Okay, this is the D1. Vessel may use an inshore traffic zone when en route to and from a port, because what happens is, like expressway, you want to go to a dhaba. Dhaba is not on expressway, correct? So I will have to get off at a service road somewhere and move to the dhaba. Now this is the equivalent. If you are going en route to a port, or you are coming from a port or offshore installations means normally majority of cases will be oil platforms and all. Installations on structures, pilot station, because pilots are not going to put pilot station in the middle of the traffic flow. They will be out. So they will be in inshore traffic zone. So in any other place within inshore traffic zone, that is where I have to go there because I have got some purpose. Then I can use it. Because I have some purpose. That is the reason I can use inshore traffic zone. Or to avoid immediate danger, means suppose you realize there is a risk of collision and you have to avoid it, yes, you are all free to go anywhere you want. Now that part also we will come, but right now you can enter inshore traffic zone to avoid immediate danger. It is just like driving on expressway, and if required, we move out on side road. Okay. Then the vessel who is joining or leaving a traffic separation, that means our expressway, if ship is joining or leaving or crossing. Now, okay, not crossing, sorry. Vessel other than a crossing vessel or joining, means that is all the three things together. Normally will not, means the ones who are using the main road will not normally enter the separation zone or cross a separation line. That is what we thought, we discussed it when I told you it is that white line on the road, that is the separation line, or a wider part where you have normally nowadays we decorate it with plants and all, but that sort of area is left between the two opposing lanes for variety of reasons on land also, if you can afford it. Here we are in water, so we can afford it. Now that separation zone or separation line, you are not supposed to cross. Only in case you are going to go there, it can be reason is what you want to join, or like I have to cross and go on other side. Why? Because that is my destination. Or so that is joining or leaving, or I am crossing the separation lanes. So I have to go. So in these three cases, I can breach it. Otherwise, we will not normally enter those areas. Okay, again word is normally. Now, in case of emergency, to avoid immediate danger. Okay, in case of emergency, to avoid immediate danger, you are going to go off the track. Accepted. To engage in fishing within a separation zone, because like I said, the separation zone is a wide area to keep both the lanes separate. Now, in that, like take again road equivalent, expressway, we have planted things there, right? Now, obviously, somebody will have to go there to maintain it. So the maintenance staff goes there. Similarly, you have got the gardener going there to water plant, etc., whatever it is. So this is fishing is an activity which can be done in separation zone. And with this, also keep it in mind, fishing is not prohibited anywhere. Just get it right. It is not prohibited. We are going to come to that part, but right now just keep it in mind. This fishing, what we are referring at this stage, is in separation zone, not in the lanes. So somebody has to breach it to go there. So obviously they want to go in separation zone, so they will have to breach it. Now, if the ship is near the area of termination of traffic separation scheme, area near the termination, because you know it is not a continuous thing. It is there for maybe 50 nautical miles and then it stops because it's no longer the congested area. Now, if you are navigating in that area, near the termination of the lanes, means that is where the termination of traffic separation scheme. You will do it with lot of caution. Why? One is ships will be altering courses there. Why? Because I had to follow the road. Now I want to go this side or I want to go that side. It's okay. So I will be doing something. I was following the lane and now I decide to go 50 degrees to right. Fine. That is the reason you are navigating there, you will not be clear about my intentions. So you should be more careful that people may behave in an odd way at that point. Again, next part. A vessel shall, so far as practicable is the wording. It is not saying do not anchor. It says so far as practicable, avoid anchoring and traffic separation scheme or in areas near its termination. That means what it is saying is don't park right in the middle of the traffic or the joining junctions because you will cause inconvenience. But why the wording is there so far as practicable? Because suppose you lose power, what are you going to do? You will have to hold your ship somewhere. Other than that, ship will start drifting and creating bigger havoc. So, it is like, what we see. Normally, whenever you are on roads, you will find the truck and all with a punctured tire, whatever the reason, it's not working. They generally try to get it to the side and park it, and then they put those branches and all to tell you, or put stones that yes, this is like a disabled vehicle. So similar situation can come at sea. So here what is the first idea is, so far as possible practical, avoid anchoring. Don't anchor on the road, means don't park on the road. And don't park near the end of the road because that is where people are joining, and you park your car right in the middle and people may not be able to join easily. That is this exactly equivalent. So avoid anchoring, but it doesn't say you cannot anchor. If it is emergency, you will have to anchor, and then there is a procedure, you inform and all. Vessel not using traffic separation scheme shall avoid it by as wide margin as is practicable. That means there are people who say, I don't want to follow this road. Perfectly fine. Then avoid it by big margin. Don't come nearby and give hool like, I'm coming here or I'm going there. No. Stay very clear. Now, here is the important part. Vessel engaged in fishing shall not impede the passage of any vessel following traffic lane. Means they will not cause obstruction to any ship following traffic lane. But suppose there is no ship. If there is no ship, guys can do fishing. Okay, this is exactly what is confusing for a lot of people. It doesn't say you shall not do fishing. It could have been very easy. Vessel engaged in fishing shall not do fishing here. Close. No, it says you may do fishing, but you will not cause obstruction, that is impede the passage of any other vessel. Any other vessel can be even sailing vessels and all sorts of things, okay? But they will not impede the passage. So that clarity has to be in mind. Yes, fishing is done there, but they will not impede passage. Again, we come back to our society cricket. Okay? Society has allowed children to play, but there are certain rules to be followed by children, that you will not obstruct the traffic. Somebody is coming in with a car, you move out of the way, let him go, then you start again. No problem. That is exactly what we are looking here. Vessel of less than 20 meters in length or a sailing vessel shall not impede passage of power-driven vessel. See what it is? This one, fishing, shall not impede passage of any vessel. Here, less than 20 meters or a sailing vessel shall not impede safe passage. Okay, so power-driven vessel is supposed to be given way by everybody else, because other than power-driven, you have got 1, 2, 3 are here. Now, a vessel restricted in ability to maneuver when engaged in an operation means restricted in ability to maneuver. Okay, that is according to definition. Means she cannot deviate and all. The way you want me, she cannot follow. There are restrictions on her how she can follow ROR. Fine. But she is exempted because maintenance of safety of navigation. Any operation where there are maintaining a safety of navigation in a traffic separation scheme, that means there may be buoy system there, there may be markers put there, whatever it is. If that vessel which is restricted in ability to maneuver is going to go in a traffic separation scheme and do the maintenance of navigational marks, anything, is exempted from complying with this rule because this may be a smaller one. Okay, like this, 20 meters. She may be a smaller one, she may be a little bigger, whatever it is, but she has been given exemption from following this rule. To the extent necessary to carry out the operation. But remember this exemption is given only when operation is going on, operation of maintenance. Not when she is going there and she is not, she doesn't have limitations. In that case, she is not restricted in her ability. When she becomes restricted in her ability, maybe she is towing a buoy, okay, towing a navigation buoy. Then she is restricted in ability. But when she is engaged in operation, that is the only time she is exempted. Other than that, she becomes normal. Then, when engaged in operation of this is a similar operation like this navigation thing, laying, servicing, picking up submarine cable, because this is where you cannot move, it is one of those operations that they make their progress slowly and exactly on the line, is also exempted during the operation. So, these two classes are exempted. Now, here are some pictures showing you. This is the lane. The arrows will be shown like this. If you are crossing, heading should be almost at 90 degrees. Heading. You may be going this way or this way. Possible. But heading has to be 90 degrees to the traffic flow. Now, there are Northern European waters and all lot because there were lots of ports. First thing, there is a heavy traffic because it's a commercial shipping. And so this is how we look at it, that a lot of schemes are there. Now, when you join or leave a TSS, you do at a small angle. You don't go in like this in the middle and start moving. You go slowly and ensure that you are not causing obstruction, so like this one is going on. You come in and you start going brashly like this, there will be problem, and then bolo aisa nahi. You go very slowly so that you don't cause obstruction or confusions. One part, the first part is you are not absolved of responsibility under other rules. Okay, never mind, you are in TSS, you are following it, but for example, another vessel is crossing TSS and there is a risk of collision, then again the crossing vessel rule will come in picture and you will need to take the action according to that rule. You cannot get exemption saying I am in the lane, so you don't have any rights. No, you have got no rights, special rights. This is something you understand, this part. Under 20 meters must not impede. In practice, these are small ones. There is no reason because they don't have much of draft. A smaller ship cannot be having very heavy draft. Now, what happens is the smaller ones can keep clear easily because for them, relatively, a 20-meter ship against 300-meter big ship. So it is just no comparison. They will keep clear. But that is, they have been told, you keep clear. Don't expect the big guy to keep clear. Other one is, of course, then normally the smaller ones will not be using main road, but it is again, you can say voluntarily, what is their activity, where they are going. Like we say that I am going to so and so place. So I have to work out, no, what is the shortest distance, I am saving fuel, this, that, whatever it is. And additionally, what happens is, inshore traffic zones will have a stronger tidal stream. Sometimes these smaller ones need to use those tidal stream to get better speed. So there are a couple of things like that. But in general, the rule is a very straightforward one. Do not get mixed up, especially here. Exemptions. There are only exemptions given for any sort of a traffic separation scheme, okay, for safety of navigation, or somebody is laying the cable. And in both the cases, the ships must be restricted in her ability to maneuver. It is not any ship which is used. Any ship, no, must be restricted, and that too only when she is engaged in that operation. If she is not engaged, no issues. Fishing vessel shall not impede passage of any other. Then smaller ones, sailing vessel less than 20 meters will not impede passage of, shall not impede safe passage of power driven vessel. Okay. Following a traffic lane is also important wording. Huh? If they are crossing, they are not following a lane. If you are not using it, give a big wide margin, so there is no confusion. You avoid anchoring in the middle of the lane. Avoid it, because you will cause a lot of obstructions. If you become not under command and weather is bad, you have to do it, you will do it. But then there are procedures for it. And then another area is when the traffic separation scheme ends. Those are termination areas where ships are joining traffic lanes. So you don't want to create confusion there by wrong parking. I mean, anchoring is a parking. So you don't park in the middle somewhere and say, now tum baju se jao. That attitude must not be there. That is our typical attitude in small towns, and baju se jao na kya hai, itna bada rasta hai, itni badi jagah hai. That sort of argument shouldn't be there. Like, I don't know, if some of you drive, so you know, you are trying to take a U-turn on a narrow road, and there is a divider, so that you can't take U-turn anywhere, but you have to go to the termination point. So where the divider terminates. And then I try to take U-turn, and I find one car or some vehicle is parked on the other side in such a way that I can't take smooth U-turn. This is a similar disturbance. And those areas, you are more careful because you don't know intentions of the ship. You don't know ship is joining which lane. Manish. Manish, okay, put it on the chat. What is it? Manish, you wave the hand. Now just show me on the chat what is the difficulty. Okay, fine, no problem. Then when we look at E is crossing vessel, joining and leaving. They are different because they will have to sometime or the other cross a separation zone or separation line. But other than that, nobody enters the traffic separation zone or cross the line, except in case of emergency or to engage in fishing within the separation zone. Those two are the things there. Then let's go back further. You don't use service roads unnecessarily if you have got a major thing. So same thing. It's like, Induri. Okay, Induri, you have got two roads. One goes through the village, one goes from outside. If I'm going to Tolani, I must use the bypass road. That is the one which doesn't go through the village. That is exactly what we are looking. That is the inshore traffic zone. So we generally don't go there if you have got no work. If you have got work, then you can go there. That is what is mentioned. If you are going and visiting anything there, then you have to go anyway. Or like pilot station. I have to pick up somebody there. So I go in the village, pick up the guy and get out. Same way. Crossing, you should avoid it, but at times there is no choice. You have to cross the lane, so you go 90 degrees. 90 degrees to the traffic flow on your ship's heading, not course made good. Normally, you should try and join it at the termination of the lanes, join or leave. If it is not possible, then you do it at very small angle to the general traffic flow. And the most important part, just because you are following traffic separation scheme does not mean that you are relieved of your responsibilities under other rules. So that is where we finish the traffic separation scheme, and the two other rules we'll just touch up because they are like one-liners. Loading slowly. Okay. Now, the first part, when we did it, what we saw after rule number 3, there was a rule, one-liner. Rules of this section apply to all conditions of visibility. Now we get the rules in this section, that means 11 to 18. Apply to vessels in sight of one another. Now important part here, because when you are studying range of lights, nighttime lights, okay, you have got different ranges. So it is possible that the bigger ship has got higher range of masthead light, 6 miles. A 20-meter one will have very small range. Now what happens? A smaller guy can see big guy. Why? Because the range is more, I can see that guy's light. But he can't see my light. In that case, the rules in this section shall not apply. Why? This is important wording. In sight of one another. Both must be seen from each other. This is the most important part of this rule and must not be mistaken when you apply the rules. Now rule 12. So it's about sailing vessels. It is, I don't think it is there in your syllabus anyway, but it is a very straightforward rule. Two sailing vessels, if they are going to bang with each other, one of them must keep out of the way. That is based on the wind direction. Vessel which has the wind on the port side shall keep out of the way. Here, this one has got wind on the port side, so she must keep clear. When both have got wind on the same direction, okay, the vessel which is to windwards, because this is the wind direction, so this is towards the wind. Wind is hitting her first and then here. She will keep clear. And when there is a doubt, okay, the wind on the port side, sees vessel, another one, and can't determine the wind is on port or starboard because you can't make out from a distance. She shall keep out of the way. Doubt is there, so one has to take initiative. Okay, otherwise what happens? There is a confusion. Like here we are very clear because picture is like that, port, so she keeps clear. Here it's windward, so keeps clear. And now there is a doubt, so it gives responsibility to this one, you will keep clear. Now the windward side where the opposite to which mainsail is carried. Mainsail is carried means, in this case, not the where you fix up the pole. Pole is always on center line. Which side after getting the air filled, where the sail moves. If sail moves on my right, that means it has gone on starboard side. Okay. So opposite of that will be the windward side, because the sail will be always on leeward side. Now, this thing, I'll just open this rule, but we are not going to start it. Okay, here onwards we start rules. Overtaking, crossing, end on, then responsibilities between the vessels and all. So now next time we will be doing about 2 to 3 rules, okay, that is tomorrow. And we should be finishing sometimes in next week. We should be finished with ROR because we have done the lights and all rules all right. Now take the test, never mind what marks you get, you will start understanding it better because the mistakes you make, you will immediately get the result with what mistakes you have made and what was the correct answer. So then analyze it, because there is possibility of odd mistake by me, so that your answer may be right. In that case, point it out to me. But idea is we start moving slowly and steadily. Like SOT, you all are doing well, but some guys are behind, some guys are okay, some guys are about to finish. Same way, ROR, let us start now. And do it in a peaceful manner without causing all excitement. Excitement is not good at this stage, you know. Everybody will get overexcited and there will be only chaos. So we are finished with things and I am closing it